First, I want to apologize because I just lied. I lied to you not about gaining your years back, but I actually grossly underestimated how many years of your life you could actually gain back. Because depending on your age, you could probably gain back 30, 40, maybe even 50 years of your life back with some of the principles that I'm going to share with you today. So stick around and I will show you exactly how to do that. But if you're new to this channel, my name's Alex, and about 10 years ago, when I was 25, I got my first job working at Google. And, you know, it was meant to be the best place to work in the world. I was super excited when I got the job, but I just remember halfway through working there, just feeling miserable, feeling like, is there something wrong with me? Like, this is meant to be the best place to work in the world, but why am I so miserable? And I was living for the weekend. Every Sunday I would have this horrible feeling in my stomach that about going to work the next day. I was feeling stressed and yeah, I remember even having a conversation with my colleague, and he was like, you know what I love about our role is that, like, the days just fly by because we're so busy. We've always got stuff to do, and that, you know, there were never enough hours throughout the day to finish the work that we needed to do. And I was like, I don't want my life to fly by. I don't think that's a good thing. And recently I came across this quote by Benjamin Franklin, who said that most people die at age 25 but aren't buried until they're 75. And that hit me so hard because that was exactly how I felt. That was exactly the trajectory that I was on, because I was just living mindlessly. You know, I was just going through the motions. I was just doing what I thought I was meant to do. I wasn't really questioning anything, and it just felt completely devoid of meaning. I was living a life devoid of meaning. And, you know, I genuinely believe that one of the keys to living a fulfilling life and to living a full life is to find meaning, is to live a life of meaning. And if you think of, I think one of the Buddha philosophies, or one of the Buddha philosophies is that life is suffering. And therefore, you want to find meaning that justifies the level of suffering that you go through. And so in this video, I'm going to share. First of all, meaning is also not something that you find. I said finding meaning, but you know, a lot of people wait for meaning to just arrive. But actually, meaning is something that's created. Meaning is something that you build brick by brick through your choices, through your actions, and it's something that you build. It's something that you create. It's not something that you find. And so in this video, I'm going to share 5 ways that you can create more meaning in your life today. And if you stick around, I'll also share with you a perspective that completely changed how I see time and how I see what's possible. And if you haven't heard it before, and like I hadn't heard it like until this year, like I promise it will blow your mind. And so one of the first things that you can do to create more meaning in your life is go on a journey of self-discovery. Is start discovering what it means to be you. Start uncovering who you really are. And how I see this as creating your purpose, because your purpose isn't a job, it's not a career, it's not discovering who you were meant what you were meant to do. It's the process of uncovering what it means to be you. And you do this by uncovering your values, like getting clear on your strengths. You can also do this by creating a powerful vision. You know, if there were no limits to what you could achieve, what would your life look like in 10 years? And write that down, because that will give you so much indication as to what's actually important to you and who you truly are. And this process of self-discovery is also the process of just being authentically you, being authentic. And authenticity is not a switch that you can turn off and turn on. It's something that you create, or it's a process of discovery, of uncovering what it means to be you. And one of the biggest regrets of the dying is I wish I'd had the courage to live life true to myself, not the life that others expected of me. And so this process of discovering who you are is the process that will allow you to actually live authentically, you know, live life true to yourself, and to kind of break free from these patterns from living for others' expectations, and living a life that isn't truly your own. And I have found so much meaning myself in this process, and in this process of discovering who I really am. So that was the first one. The second one, and so this is what can be not a controversial topic, but it's a topic that is different for everyone, but it's something that I genuinely believe in. And I think that an important part of creating meaning in your life is actually connecting to something bigger than yourself. And so that can be God, that can be the universe. It can also just be the fact that we are, you know, all connected on this planet, or it can be nature. But I truly believe that there's a tremendous value in believing in something bigger than yourself, simply because it allows you to shift your perspective, or see life as happening for you instead of to you. So it's a great way to get out of victim mindset, but also just trust that there's a something bigger than us that's at play here. And it doesn't have to be religion, it doesn't have to be like spiritual, but it can just be contemplating on, you know, how we're all part of this planet, of this universe. And I think when we acknowledge that, and when we reflect on that, well, it helps us realize that we're part of something massive. And we don't need to know what that is, but just knowing that it kind of, well, first of all, it diminishes a lot of our problems, but it also helps us connect to something bigger. And I don't even necessarily know, like, I don't have the answer. I don't know what even that can mean, but I find a lot of comfort in trusting that, you know, there's something bigger than me, and that's something that gives me meaning. And so it's not for everyone, but that's generally something that I believe in. The third way to create meaning is to do hard things. So it's to work on your personal growth. And again, for myself, I have experienced so much meaning, so much fulfillment by getting outside my comfort zone, by living life in the arena as opposed to in the stands. So where I'm actually out there, I'm figuring things out as I go along. And so much meaning can be derived from doing hard things and from growing. And so, if you take on new skills, or if you start facing your fears, that can be public speaking, it can be even the fear of starting your own business. Well, so much meaning can be found in the process of doing hard things, and the process of expanding your comfort zone and really doing this work on yourself. A fourth way that you can create meaning is, I forgot what it was. Is by being in service to others. And so this is also super, super powerful, is spending some time helping others. But an important distinction here is to shift from saving people to serving people. And so there's a big difference between that, because a lot of the time we can get caught up, we can lose ourselves by saving others, because we save others because of the feeling that it gives us. And you can always argue that there's no such thing as a selfless act. But when you lose yourself, or when you focus on saving instead of serving, you actually can sometimes do people a disservice, because when you save people, you automatically position yourself as a savior, so you automatically also position the other person as a victim. And so a lot of time when we save others, we actually create victims. And so that's why it's super important to think of this distinction. Is like, am I saving this person or am I serving them? Because when you serve someone, you actually do what's best for them. And sometimes what's best for people is to empower them to figure out their own problems, empower them to save themselves. And so while being of service is something that will always give you meaning, it's important not to become a savior, and really instead focus on serving. And then the fifth way to create more meaning is also a very important one, and that is cultivating deep and meaningful relationships. And it doesn't mean like having loads of friends, but it means having like a few amount of friends that where you have a deep connection. And it can also be with your family, it can also be with your partner. There's a reason why I think in all blue zones, which are the areas where people live the longest, there's a lot of they all have strong communities. So make sure to cultivate your existing relationships. A great way to think of this is, just send that text message whenever you think of someone. Just send them a message or give them a call. It's so easy to get caught up in our busy lives that we forget to really cultivate these meaningful relationships, and it's super powerful, because we are human beings that we will crave belonging, and you can create that for yourself, and that can really help you feel way more meaning and more fulfilling, because you're part of something bigger, you're part of a collective group or whatever that is. So that was the fifth one. And so now I'm going to share the powerful perspective shift that it kind of completely transformed how I see the world. And so it's a concept called productive working life. And the idea is that we all of us have a productive working life that goes from the age of 20 to the age of 80. And so if you think you can be president of the United States at age 80. So it just puts into perspective like how long you've got as a productive member of society. And so if you take your current age and you take away 20, and then so this gives you the amount of years that you've been working within that productive life, and then you divide it by 60 and multiply it by 100, that gives you the percentage of your productive working life that you've lived. So if we take me, for example, I'm 35, so minus 20, that's 15. You divide it by 60 times 100, that's 25%. So at age 35, I have only lived 25% of my productive working life, which means that I have 75% of my productive working life left, right? And this blew my mind, because it made me realize how much time I actually have left to start new things. And I've only like done like one tiny thing in my lifetime. And imagine everything that you've created that has gotten you here today, you created without the knowledge that you currently have. So imagine everything that you can create, in the next 10 years and the next 20 years with the knowledge that you have now. And I think this is just such a powerful reminder that we often think that, it's too late to start something new, it's too late to start a business or to change something about myself. But when you realize how much time you actually have left, well, it opens up so many possibilities, and it opens up so many things that you can do. And for me, I think it was really a life-changing concept. And so I really hope that you can use it for yourself and just realize that how much time you have left, and just imagine what you could create in your life if you started now. And one of my favorite quotes is we overestimate what we can achieve in a year, but we underestimate what we can achieve in 10. And so I really hope that you use this. So to sum up, the key to living a fulfilling life, and the key to actually gaining 20, 30, 40 years of your life is to actually stop living mindlessly and actually live a life where you truly have meaning. And the 5 concepts that I share with you hopefully can help you get a head start and help you start living your life right now, so that you don't wake up at 75 filled with regret. And yeah, I hope you found this useful. I can't believe I did this in one take. So clearly speaking on camera is actually helps, and it's been helping me get better at this. So if you've watched until now, I really, really appreciate you. I wish you the most amazing day, and sending you loads of love. Bye.